Hey guys, what is going on? Eric Farewell here from Aviator Paramotor, and I'm excited because today you get to watch our very first ever Paramotor Tech Talk video. This is a video series that's going to be coming out every Thursday right here on this channel, or we may make a new channel for it. We're not sure yet. But the first episode is all about the Vittorazi Moster Exhaust. How you can change it, go from a 3-spring or a 4-spring, whatever you need to do. This should walk you through the entire process, start to finish. Alex is going to be on screen just after this introduction. He's an incredible master mechanic in AMP. The guy is a genius. If you have trouble understanding him though, feel free to hit the closed caption button. We paid for closed captions, so they should work much better than normal. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Alex, take it away.
Today we're going to be replacing a Monster 185 exhaust. We just order a replacement from the factory. I'm going to run you through all the steps that's needed to actually replace it. In today's project, we're going to use a heat gun, a glider line, a tie wrap, an Allen wrench for the prop, an Allen wrench for the exhaust, a ratchet, a 10mm socket extension set, a torque wrench, a wrench, and a wire cutter. We ordered a complete kit for the exhaust replacement. The kit includes all your gaskets, the base with the springs, the cables, and the copper bushing. Also the one-time use nuts and couple lock washers. To begin the disassembly, I'm going to start by removing the clamp for the silencer. That will allow you to actually move it around a little bit and reach one of the mounting points. Make sure to notice the sequence of how this is mounted, so it can be mounted exactly the same way back. With the 10mm socket, now you can reach behind and get the next mounting point. And remove the one-time use nut and washer. Save the washer. We have new nuts. For the one all the way in the back, we're going to use a wrench. My preference is a box wrench with the ratchet on the end. Make it a little bit faster. You can actually also use a swivel, or you can also use an extension light switch that flex a little bit, or a universal joint. Now we're moving on to this area of the exhaust. I'm going to loosen up this next one, but not taking it out. In this case, you can take the springs out and you can either use a glider line or a tie wrap. The way you use it, you can go over the spring. What I like to do is I like to use a wrench so I can actually pull on the spring and carefully release the tension. If you're using a tie wrap or a zip tie, you can use it the same manner. Put the wrench through it. And release the tension. Now the other side will be a lot looser. Now we can safely remove the last nut and the whole entire exhaust will come right out. At this point in time is a perfect opportunity to actually inspect all this area of the engine and the motor and the accessories. In this case, I will start by inspecting this bracket. I will inspect all your exhaust mounts in condition. If they are cracked, please replace them all. And we move to this area right here. There's two 10mm nuts. If you have a 3-spring exhaust versus a 4-spring exhaust, this is a mandatory part to change. If you're doing the 50-hour replacement of the copper ring, you don't have to take these off necessarily, but it's the same procedure. The base comes out with all the springs, discard that, and reassemble. At this point in time, we're going to strip the silencer out of the old muffler and get it ready for the new one. Simply take out the lock washers or the lock nuts. Sorry. and the flap nut. These are located in 3 studs around the silencer. Make sure you save your nuts, and I'll show you later on how to reinstall them properly. Then remove the silencer. Make sure that you remember or mark how this is clogged. This goes a specific way. You don't want this actually blowing back into your gas tank, okay? You can clean the surface and replace the old gasket with the new one. Sometimes these studs are a little bit stubborn. Try to get into the holes. If you can, I recommend to use a very small diameter socket. Very carefully without damaging the threads. Move it in the direction that's needed. Align it with the holes and replace it. The sequence for these particular nuts, the flat nuts go first, followed by the lug nuts. The way you identify the lug nuts, they're actually not completely round. Also, the top of the nuts are chamfered a little bit. You have a chamfer all the way around. Torque the flat ones first and reinstall the lug washers. Now we're ready to actually install it on the actual engine. Before we actually do that, one thing I like to do, the engine comes from the factory with its springs already installed, the safety wire, and the string wrap already installed. What I like to do, as you notice here, I remove one spring in each side that allow me to actually take my wrench and being able to reach that nut and reinstall that particular plate. And don't forget to install your exhaust gasket, and let's get ready to install it. To replace the exhaust, simply everything will be just like the removal but in reverse. And place the studs on the head. Save the washer, flat washer from before, and a brand new one-time use copper nut. You can just hand tight those to hold the exhaust in place. Now you can actually go to the head. This is a brand new lug washer with a brand new one-time use copper nut, and do the same. You may want to basically put everything hand tight in the beginning. That allows you to move the exhaust and position it the way you want to. Now you can snug down the head nuts. Make sure it's properly torqued. Now you can proceed to torque the rest of the exhaust mounts. There is no specific torque value for those. Make sure that your exhaust mount does not spin or get damaged during the installation. There is a line across them from the molding, and you can see if they're twisted or not. And last step is replacing your clamp. The kit actually, they provide you with a brand new gasket for the clamp. The final step is replacing those springs. Same manner, basically. You can use a glider line, or you can use the wire wrap or tie wrap. All 4 springs are installed. The final step on the spring installation is use your heat gun Position the shrink wrap right on the center. That will protect the wires, safety wires, and shrink wrap all four. My very last step in the process is basically use a little bit of torque stripe and then go in every nut. Just like that. What that allows you to do is to make sure that that particular nut have not moved on you. If you see anything that have been chipped away or broken, that nut have been loose on you. So it's a good visual indicator during your pre-flights. Every time you have torque stripe like that and it's compromised, to actually check the integrity of the part, perhaps also the torque on each one of them.